Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So for all the new moms, this is again our August 2025 Shelter from the Rain support group. So welcome. This is a safe space. We would like for you to be able to connect with other moms and also connect with community resources. We have a support group that meets monthly. Typically, it's a mix between virtual and in person. We have more virtual than we have in person because when we meet in person with our moms, we have to have childcare and food. And so it's a really big task. So if we have 20 moms, 20 to 30 moms, that could be 60 to 80, potentially 100 kids. So a lot of times we try to balance that out with meeting in person and virtually. So this is one of our awesome virtual meetups. And like I said, we start with announcements for the organization, and then we move to the topic for the support group because we not only want to connect you to other moms, but we want to connect you to local resources and other organizations that can help you with your needs as a mom. And sometimes we invite other people onto these calls because, the topic is so broad. So if you're not a mom, that's completely fine. If you're here just to learn about various benefits. All right, so we start with a quote of the day now. And if I'm probably gonna have to mute some people. Let me see if I can.
And then he put the
I
A
can't see
in so
everybody,
he
so I
said,
might have a
and,
little bit
and,
of.
and he had posted on the computer, and he had said, and he put your name.
If you are not talking, I might need you to mute yourself. Okay, hopefully everybody's muted. Thank you. Oh, maybe not. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, maybe it's a little bit calmer. Okay. All right. So the quote of the day is the best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. And I picked this quote for today just because you're already preparing for tomorrow by attending this support group today. And a lot of as moms, as individuals, no matter who you are, a lot of times we're thinking about the worries of tomorrow and what we can't control and all the things that may or may not happen. But really, the only thing you can do is focus on today and what you put in today. So I appreciate everyone being here today to learn more about how you can prepare for tomorrow. So this was the quote for today. Hopefully, it gives you some peace of mind. All right. And then the Meet a Mom, just like I mentioned earlier, this is an opportunity for you to meet other moms, even though we're virtual. You can still connect and create community. So if you are interested in connecting with other moms, you can put your first name, the ages of your children, your email or phone number in the chat. And your main need. Is it just that you want somebody to text? If you want somebody to have play dates with, you can put that in there. And you can put just your email or your email and phone number. Please put your email at the very least because I usually capture that information and I'll email all the moms who do want connection and put y'all all together in one email after this. So at the very least, put your email, the name, your name, and the ages of your children so moms can see, oh, she has the same age children as me. Maybe we could do a play date with our kids. And it could be as simple as encouraging messages. You may never meet in person. It may just be advice that you give each other. It may just be encouraging messages throughout the week. That still makes a difference. All right. And then also, if you have any like specific needs, if you're looking for a job in a certain industry, or if you're looking for a certain type of childcare, a lot of times our moms end up helping each other, even outside of the resources that we offer. So anything that you're looking for, just put it in the chat. There may be someone on here who can help you with that need. So any type of resource, job opportunities you're looking for, you can drop that in the chat with your name, ages of your kids, and your email. All right. And then the mommy mixers, we include other groups that meet in Savannah that are open to you doing things with them. So Savannah on the Move, I always mention them in terms of wanting to connect. They are on Instagram and they usually post their walks because they do walks slash runs and then they go eat for brunch if you want to join them. And then we already had our health and wellness group in July. We just had a mommy mixer yesterday at Savannah Bananas. We might have some moms on here that were with us last night. It was super wet and rainy, but um, I know some of the moms had a really good time. I was outside, so I did not have a good time. I did not have a good time. I was in the rain most of the time, but it makes me happy to know that y'all had a good time. And Savannah Bananas is just awesome. Even when it rains, they bring the sunshine. It's a great experience for the kids. So hopefully, if you are an active participant or in our mentorship program next year, we'll have tickets for you. We ask people to buy tickets for our moms so our moms can have that experience every year. Those tickets are not easy to come by. I have a lot of people who want those tickets who are not our moms. So I appreciate the people who were able to make it last night for the tickets that people did purchase for our families. All right. And then speaking of our mentorship program, see if I can move this up a little. We did have our midpoint check-in 2 weeks ago, last weekend. I can't even remember. It was very recently in August, but we had a great meeting with the moms that are in our mentorship program. And if you are interested in that program, it's a 6-month program where we pair single moms with a mentor to focus on 3 goals, and that can be in the area of career development, transportation, housing, anything that'll move you forward economically. We pay for 9 weeks of financial literacy. We also have mental health sessions that we pay for in partnership with Hugs. It's a full, like, holistic program to not only help you reach your goals, but to be your best self from the inside out. So kudos to the moms who are working hard in that program right now. We have 3 months left. They will graduate in November. The program will end in October. You can apply for the 2026 cohort now. So if you go to Shelter from the Rain about programs, go to that mentorship page, and there might be a quick link on the homepage too that'll get you there faster, but you can apply for that next group. We interview for that group, so we'll talk to you about whether it's a good time, because like I said, it's a very intense program. So you want to make sure you do that at the right time in your life. So apply for that now if you're interested. And then today we have our focus, which is Hola Health and Nutrition, a guide to making the most out of your SNAP EBT benefits with Rosie Harrison of Grow Initiative, Georgia. I'm really excited about this one because we've never done this before. So anytime we do a new topic, I'm excited because I know I'm going to learn something new. And with the time that we're living in right now, this information is absolutely vital. So I wanted to also make sure we helped our moms, but even as an organization, we're in a position to kind of know more about what's about to shift or change for our families. So thank you, Rosie, for being here. And then my last slide, again, you see our focus. Be thinking during this time what new things you learn, because we want to know, like, was this helpful for you? Did you learn something new? Are you aware of these things? What other topics would you like to see? I'll drop a link in the chat at the end for you to do a very quick survey. The moms who join this every month, y'all know it's the same survey. We just want to know, was it helpful? What are the things that you want to learn? How can we make this better for you? And we really do listen. So like the things that we've added from quotes of the month, the mommy, like connecting moms during the group, all of that has come from the surveys that you turn in. So those are important. Those aren't just things that we don't read. So please turn that in. We also use that for attendance. So I know you came here. So whenever you come to the diaper bank, we can look up and see, okay, was that mom at the last support group by looking to see what her survey says, or does it come up when we look up her name? So please submit that whenever we get done. And our next meeting will be September 13th. It will also be virtual. The topic should be healthy families and families first. That may shift depending on the speaker's schedule, but that's what we're planning for September 13th. virtually at 11 a.m. And then the moms who are on this call who are part of our new mom support group, we will meet on September 20th in person. The moms who have one baby under the age of 2 will meet in person, and I'll email y'all the information for that, but it'll be the same location, the small group that we have for the moms that have one baby. You're just entering into motherhood. So that's all I have in terms of announcements. Does anybody have any questions in terms of the announcements we have for Shelter from the Rain? I'm going to look at the chat. Okay,
I
great.
have a question.
Yes.
It's not from the chat or anything, but I was supposed to pick up some items, and this was like the week before last, and I just saw the email. So I was just wondering, at any time, can I just come and pick them up, or is it specifically for Wednesdays?
Wednesdays only, between 10:30 and 4:30. So if you missed the past Wednesday, you would just come this Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. That's a great question. All right. And I'll send a survey. I'll put a survey in the chat when we get done for you to fill it out, Jasmine. And if you have any other questions, y'all can just drop them in the chat and I'll answer while Rosie is presenting. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rosie. And you should be able to share if you need to share anything on the screen, Rosie. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. All right, everybody, you guys ready? You guys, we're gonna have to be a little bit more than that because I can't.
I know. If you can come on camera, please come on camera. If you can respond, please respond.
Yes,
It's
we're
always
ready.
harder for
Yes, we're
presenters
ready.
to make
All right, thank you.
there's 20 something people and she can't see anybody.
I mean, I'm pretty good about talking to myself sometimes.
Well, we have to talk to ourselves, but
Right?
we don't want to have to just talk to
All
ourselves.
right, thank you. We're ready to go.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
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 Okay, great. Thank you so much. So my name is Rosie Harrison. I'm the founder and executive director of Girl Initiative Georgia. Today, we're going to do a little introduction on heart health, but also into the different things that are happening when it comes to SNAP benefits. So Grow Initiative Georgia is a nonprofit, community-focused organization dedicated to growing resilient communities, one person at a time through a strategic, person-centered approach. What that means is case management. Case management for us means you call us when you have a need, and then not only will we give you the referral information to who can assist you, but we will make sure that we stay with you along the way. We make sure to contact you, and if other additional needs happen to arise as we're going through the process, then we make sure that you have that support. We support families and individuals with resources through their case management and bilingual literacy programs, which means that if you would like to acquire a secondary language, if you're a native English speaker, our bilingual literacy programs give you the access to learn Spanish. And then if you are a Spanish speaker, then the same thing goes. You are given the opportunity to learn English. All of our classes are intended on being completely community-based and inclusive, which means that you're going to have an immersive experience. It's not where we just teach you out of a book, because that's not what life is. And we're adults. So I'm not going to treat someone like a child. We're going to give you that experience-based program so that you're able to make the most gains. Today's presentation is just one way that we're working to ensure that every person has the knowledge and tools needed to care for our heart health and overall health, but also to know how things are happening. The picture in the background is actually one of our bilingual literacy classes. We do host them in 2 different counties, Mondays in Effingham at the United Way building or Two Rivers Health Clinic, and then in Chatham at Our Lady of Lourdes in Port Wentworth. So, as mothers, we're so used to giving and giving and giving until we have nothing left. But this is why you matter. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women in the US. How many of us genuinely think about our heart health? I can't see you guys, so please feel free to say yes, no, anything.
Not at all.
Yes, I think about heart health.
Okay, awesome.
Somebody said not at all. Who was that?
We don't want to put someone on blast.
No, I appreciate the honesty is why I wanted to because I don't want people to just be like, oh yeah, I do. If you don't think about it, I appreciate the honest answer. If I hadn't have worked for an arrhythmia company, which they focus on the beats of a heart, and I work with a lot of people who are women heart champions. If I wouldn't have worked at that company, I wouldn't be thinking about heart health the way that I do. So I appreciate whoever said not at all. Because if you're not exposed to people who deal with heart issues, or you're not aware of maybe your family history of heart issues, or you don't work at a company that makes you read about heart issues, you don't. So thank you for the honest answer.
Yes, please. Thank you. And the reason why it's important that we ask that is because typically when we're dealing with life and when we're working mothers, or if you're a stay-at-home mother, or if you're a mother and you're having a hard time making ends meet, the last thing on your mind is going to be your heart health because you have to take care of all these other things that come up. But unfortunately, the reason why heart disease is the number one killer of women in the US is because of the social economic factors. It's because of education. It's because we are having to take care of other people most of the time. And because sometimes our symptoms are very different than those of traditional heart health symptoms that typically are associated with men. So for us, sometimes it gets put like, oh, you're just tired, or my personal favorite. So I had a heart attack when I'm 38 now, 35. When I was 35, and it was, you have anxiety. And because I do have, and I'm very open about it, because we have to continuously work on breaking the stigma of mental health. So I have something called generalized anxiety disorder, which means I worry about all the things all the time. And I'm ADHD. So because of that, when I was having symptoms, I was told it's anxiety, but it was actually not. So some of the symptoms that we need to be on the lookout for as women is going to be fatigue, back pain, jaw pain, indigestion. We're also going to start feeling those kind of like anxiety feelings where your hands might be feeling a little weird, menopause related hormone shifts, and pregnancy complications. And it's so important to know that our heart health can be severely impacted by how much we do or don't do as far as our lifestyle changes. So 1 in 3 women are going to be affected by heart disease, but 80% of those deaths are preventable. Here are some risk factors. So I'm not going to read it to you because you're all adults, but I do want to point out the fact that we all have these things in common. We're all women. So as we're getting ready to have a menstrual cycle or hormone step, and then also we all experience pregnancy in one way or another, whether it's through a successful birth or through a miscarriage. But there are conditions like preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, and high blood pressure during pregnancy that increase those risks. And then as we continue to go from the moment in time that we're pregnant and as we go into motherhood and womanhood as over time, things like depression, anxiety, and long-term stress also affect our heart health. And I would be amiss to not recognize that right now, it's a really tough period of time for many of us. So I want to give you this moment over the next 30 seconds, and I invite you to take a deep breath in and allow yourself to feel those things, because sometimes as we continue moving on through life, day in and day out, and we continue to be caretakers, we do not recognize just how that impacts us. Sometimes we have something called functional depression or functional anxiety, and that just means that we try to put it out of sight, out of mind until we reach burnout or until we reach the point that we cannot keep going. So if everyone can just take 30 seconds and breathe in with me, take a really big deep breath with me, and we're going to breathe in now. And we're going to hold our breath for 7 seconds. And then we're going to slowly release that breath. Taking a excuse me, taking a few minutes throughout the day to allow ourselves to feel and ground ourselves really impact how we continue to recognize what's going on around us and our environment. And one of the things that also affects heart health, especially in women, is nutrition. But real talk, unless you have access to supports, services, money, and access to food and what is nutrient dense or healthy food, nutrition plays a huge role in how we process what health is. If I ask, and I am asking, is healthy food expensive? Do you guys think it's expensive or not?
It's expensive.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I
Yes,
think it's expensive, but I think right now all food's expensive.
Right.
that's right. And that's important for us to recognize. So some of this isn't the part that I'm very passionate about, because when we think about access, we have to think about access to food when we think about those fresh fruits and vegetables, but also in the price. If you're having to pay for diapers and daycare and formula, are you going to spend those $6 on organic lettuce?
No, ma'am. Negative.
No.
Exactly, because y'all times are tough. And as my really good friend likes to say, life be lifing. But there are some things that we can do to take into consideration nutrition in our day-to-day. So some of those things are going to be portion sizes. I'm Latina. Portion sizes were not taught to me when I was younger. But it's important for us to recognize that there's something we can use as measuring tools that is free and you'll have with you the entire time, and that's your hand. So a lean protein should be the portion size of your palm. Your fiber, your starches, your fresh vegetables, we really want that to be about half the plate, if not a quarter of the plate. Your fats are going to be the size of your thumb. A fat would be like avocado. Peanut butter is also a good source of fat. And then butter, anything that's along the fat process, you want to limit that to the size of your thumb. And then your carbohydrates are going to be a fist. So as we're measuring our plates, we want to also take into account the size of a plate. When we go into the store and we buy dinner plates, it's these big old things. Did you know that the recommended size of a plate is 9 inches in diameter? That's 9 inches across. Typically, that's 4 inches less than the size of a dinner plate. It's more appropriate as the size of like a salad plate. In terms of fiber, we can get fiber through fruits and vegetables, whole grains. And the reason why it's important, and people laugh at every class when I say this, fiber helps you poop. You need to poop.
It does.
We have to. And we have to take into account, like, how many of us feel sluggish when we haven't had regular bowel movements? Fiber is also one of those things that it attaches to fats so that you're able to expel them out of your body. Sodium is also one of the things that if you're pre-diabetic or if you are predisposed to high blood pressure or you already have high blood pressure, we really got to be mindful. So we want to minimize sodium, which is salt, to just a pinch after you cook the food. And so many people, myself included, in the beginning of the meeting today, of the presentation, we talked about how I was 286 pounds. And in me losing over 120 pounds, a lot of it also had to do with recognizing, one, that restriction was not going to work for me. I'm a food lover and I am a person of color, so food is how I show love. But also, I like things to taste really good. So one of the ways that you're able to continue to have healthy food that is super healthy as well is using spices. So your paprika, your garlic, your onion, all of the herbs, oregano, parsley, all of those things. And we can usually get those at very economic places like Dollar Tree, because y'all, I am a Dollar Tree loving girl. Not so much right now, because how are we going to go from $1 to $1.75? But That's my own little rant. And then hydration. How many of us actually drink water? I don't. I
I
struggle
do.
with it. You do? Amazing. How much water you drink a day?
I drink maybe about 2, 3 bottles a day.
Okay. That's very nice. That's awesome.
I
So
drink like 6, 8 ounces a day.
that's more my kind of girl.
Yeah,
So
I love water. It's my favorite drink.
love that. So is
I
it
have a 40 ounce I carry around, and I usually drink 1 to 1.5 a day.
love that? Um, what if we add sugar-free Kool-Aid? Is it still water?
No, what's
Yeah,
just flavored water?
It's flavored water. It's still water.
yeah, it's still water. If you said sugar free, so yeah.
It's still water. There's this idea that in order for us to maintain hydration, we have to have nothing but plain water. But realistically, especially if you have kids and if you have kids that maybe have sensory issues like ADHD or autism and sometimes other developmental disabilities, the taste that a lot of people cannot taste, we can taste. I can taste different waters. I can't taste a whole lot of things after COVID, but I can taste different waters. I can
I
also
can taste different waters also.
see it's a thing.
Yeah.
So if it helps you get your hydration in, adding a sugar-free packet of Kool-Aid or a sugar-free packet of any kind of flavoring, as long as you're mindful and that you talk to your doctor to make sure that it doesn't affect you, it's recommended. Some water is better than no water, but we have to stay away from the stigma about restriction. And then we talk about eating the rainbow, right? And it's great if you have access to it. But if you don't, let's go for colorful. Let's try to have at least 2 to 3 different colors on our plate. We really want to try to have at least a serving of vegetables with every plate. And this is the part where we talk about being culturally respectful and appropriate. If I say salsa, like the salsa that you get at a Mexican restaurant or the salsa that you can make at home, do you think that's healthy?
Yes.
Yes, because when you make your own salsa or when you have salsa, one serving, which would be half a cup, gives you all of the servings that you, or all of the portions that you need for one full serving. So when we think about being considerate about ethnic approaches and taking into account the importance of cultural diversity, we have to take into account that our food, the food that your mama made, the food that your great mama made, the food that your neighbor, that your friend makes, it's healthy. We have to just be more mindful about portions. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay. This is probably my favorite slide, which is food and culture. Cultural food is often unfairly labeled as unhealthy. Healthy meals reflect your culture and can fit your budget. Food is community, connection, and care. I invite you, if you want to go off mute, to tell me what your favorite dish is. Okay, I'll go first.
Mhm.
I like tamales. Or if I want to say it in English, I like tamales. They're a really great source of fiber. They're also really great in providing that energy through the carbs. And if we add a little bit of meat to it, then it's protein. Tamales, when they're traditionally made, they would typically use lard. So because I recognize that I do have to worry about my health, I replace the lard with another healthier fat, which would be like olive oil. Does it affect the texture? A little, but I also recognize that I really don't want to die. So we do a little give and take. A lot of our traditional foods are naturally rich in nutrients, fiber, and flavor. Has anyone ever had oxtail stew?
Yes.
What if I told you that that's one of the healthiest meals you can have?
Really?
Wow.
Because let's break it down. Who knows how to make oxtail stew?
Me.
Okay, tell me, give me, what are the ingredients?
1 second. Trying to unmute.
Okay.
Am I muted?
No,
No,
we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I make oxtail stew just like I make my beef stew.
Okay.
Carrots, I let everything cook. The carrots, the parsley, the celery, and all that. I literally let it cook and then add the veggies to it and then make the gravy exactly how I make beef stew, except I make gravy from scratch versus the little packet thingies.
So when we think about the traditional foods that we have, oxtail stew is very common in our Black and Caribbean cultures, right? How many of you had the thought that it's not that good for you? Now remember, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I thought with all the veggies and all that bone stuff that it's very good for you.
It is really good for us. So we know that the meat is a protein, plus we have the bones, which is collagen. Collagen helps us looking young. Yo, I'm 38. I need all the collagen I can get. And then the vegetables bring in the fiber, and the fiber helps us poop. It also tracks in the fat so that we can expel it out of our body. There are other traditional staples that are like beans, rice, fresh produce, and herbs, and all of those things are covered by SNAP. We're going to talk about what SNAP covers and how to make the most out of your SNAP budget in a little bit. But so, what's a traditional dish that we have in the South closer to Christmas time?
Turkey,
Ham.
Ham,
duck.
duck,
Low country boy.
girl, yes. So all of those things.
Potato salad, green bean casserole.
Yeah.
Yes, all of those things.
Lasagna.
Sweet potatoes, that's my favorite.
Sweet potatoes,
Baked macaroni and cheese.
baked macaroni and cheese.
That's
Oh
year,
my God.
that's year round.
Mhm.
Pozole.
Pozole. I love that. I heard a Hispanic one. I love that. So for those of us that are not Hispanic, let me give you a little bit about pozole. So pozole is a traditional Latin American recipe. There's different variations, just like any other dish, depending on where you're from. And it's made with hominy. Hominy is corn kernels from a very specific form of corn that it goes through that nixtamalization process. And then the corn kernels kind of expand. It's usually made with chicken or pork. Some people make it with beef. I used to have a little my own little drama episode because, but you got to respect where people are coming from, right? Like meals and food is so important to where they're from, so we can't knock it till we try it. But it also has the sauce is made from chili peppers and garlic and onion, oregano, salt and pepper. Some people add in other spices like cumin, some people don't. But all of those things are healthy. The part that we need to be mindful of is portions and ways to pair it. So for pozole, for example, we want to make sure that we add a lot more cabbage or lettuce. I've seen it both ways. And then the radish so that we're increasing that fiber. What is another dish closer to New Year's? Gives good luck, I've been told.
Black peas.
Yes, that is one of the most rich fiber dishes you can have. So eat it comfortably. Let's just make sure that we watch the sodium. Food is community. Most people, especially in the South or Black and brown folk, we share our love for food. How many of us would feel better meeting someone and having uncomfortable conversations if we're doing it over some type of food? I know I do. Because there's something about having something to eat and share with someone that allows me to get closer to them and connect with them. The same thing with our families. We have to stop demonizing food. We have to break the stigma that our cultural foods, whether it's Southern food, whether it's our Black and brown food, whether it's Asian food, whatever it is, we have to break the stigma. Because over time, the idea of food access has changed. And did you know that there is literally no difference between organic and not organic vegetables? Except for the price. So we really want to make sure that we educate ourselves, right? Also, this is another part about lifestyle. So regular physical activity like walking, dancing, gardening strengthens our heart and helps control our weight, our blood pressure, and our stress. How many of us are stressed out right now?
Yeah.
So one of the ways that we can do that is through gardening. And the reason why I mentioned gardening so much is because it's a way to supplement your nutrition, and I'm going to explain that in a few minutes. It allows you to ground yourself, especially if you're experiencing some anxiety symptoms or if we feel like the world is a little bit too much for us to handle. It allows us to connect with the earth. There is actual research that shows that when you're putting your hands into dirt, there's a microbes that insert into the skin, which help the serotonin levels. And then chronic stress management. Stress takes a toll on your heart. Mindfulness and rest and activities that you can enjoy can really make a difference. And mindfulness sounds like really complicated, but all that means is allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling in the moment and recognizing different resources to bounce back successfully. And I would be happy to do another section on CREM, which is community resiliency training, and I can teach you some of those skills. Now, some of us may struggle with this, but avoiding smoking and limiting alcohol consumption, two of the most powerful choices that you can make to protect your heart and boost your overall health. But I also recognize, and we also have to recognize the community, that people have to be ready to avoid smoking, and that there are things that may trigger the desire for alcohol and smoking. And those feelings are valid. So now let's talk about some barriers to healthy nutrition. The cost and access to healthcare and food, chronic stress. If you're a mom, I'm constantly in chronic stress. Support systems, the lack thereof support systems, or having houses of worship, and then sleep. Out of those four things, how many do you relate to?
All of them.
All of them. How many of us actually get the recommended 8 hours of sleep a night?
Not everyone.
Mine's
Negative.
about 6.
Not
About
me.
6. And then the reason why I also admire this group is because Jennifer was able to recognize the importance of having a support system. Some of us are transplants. A transplant is someone that came from somewhere else, like I'm from Las Vegas, and we were transplanted here. So developing a social circle, developing friends, and developing those relationships where you have those safe spaces to talk about what's happening and be heard without judgment. Taking advantage of opportunities like this is so vital for moms, for women, for anyone in general, because so many times we're taught to keep going, to be strong, and to suck it up. When we do that, though, we don't allow ourselves to feel those things, and then we continue to feed into chronic stress. Chronic stress is one of those things that has been predominantly linked to visceral fat. Visceral fat is that deadly fat. It's fat that covers the vital organs, and it's the most difficult to lose. So when we look at ourselves and we're like, man, I'm doing all the right things, but this stomach is just not going down. We have to consider chronic stress because it raises something called cortisol. And we have to recognize that we may need to step back. Maybe we need to go to therapy. If we cannot afford therapy, maybe we need to connect with organizations like Shelter from the Rain or like Grow that can refer us to different resources that can get us access to mental health. And then also recognizing the cost and access to healthcare and food. These are all the things that impact your health. But there's one thing that we have right now that can help us have access to healthy fruits and vegetables, and that's SNAP. How many of you receive SNAP benefits? Okay.
I do.
Okay. So if you receive SNAP benefits for yourself or your children, knowing how to maximize it is so important because you're losing money and you're losing access to having those healthier options because you may not know what it covers or how to double SNAP benefits. Did you know you can double SNAP benefits?
No.
Yeah, that's the part that gets a lot of people. So let's talk about what it covers. And if you have not applied for SNAP, that's something that Grow Initiative can assist you with. We can process those applications and help you with that. But what you can buy with SNAP. So in the state of Georgia, you can purchase fruits, vegetables, and meat. You cannot buy live animals with the exception of shrimp. And then some other things that you can purchase are dairy products like milk, yogurt, ice cream, because people deserve the ability to have a little sweet treat every now and then. And then snacks, seeds, and plants. Remember how we talked about gardening? You could start your own garden and you don't need a lot of room. Anything from a 5-gallon bucket, a kiddie pool, if you have a porch, anything that you can put holes in for drainage and stick some dirt in. SNAP allows you to get seeds and live plants.
I grow my own vegetables and herbs.
Amazing. That's a great way to supplement your nutrition.
I don't have a big porch, but my porch is covered. It looks like a jungle.
I love that.
Parsley, dill, carrots, banana peppers, lemons.
Love that. I love that so much. So in this area, so for those of us that don't garden yet, we're in zone 8B. You know what grows in zone 8B? Just about everything. We have one of the longest growing periods. So you're able to get carrots, eggplant, watermelon, onion, garlic, a lot of the spices. You can dump a few seeds in, get it, dry it out. You can do it in the oven. Not gonna lie, sometimes I forget to even do that. So I'll just wait for them to dry in the garden and then pick it and stick it in a container. And that's another $1.75 that you don't have to spend. Places that you can purchase live plants and seeds, Walmart or any other authorized retailer. But the beauty of it is when we can double those SNAP benefits, and then we're going to talk about that in the next one. But there are some things that you cannot buy with SNAP, and this is that education part, right? You cannot get alcohol, you cannot get tobacco or nicotine, no supplements, vitamins, or medicines, no pet food, and no cleaning supplies. SNAP was not intended to be the primary source of nutrition. And I say that because as we continue to experience legislation and the effects of current legislation, there are cuts coming, and we're going to be addressing some of those. So did you know that SNAP benefits can be doubled? Farmers markets. How many of you know about Forsyth Farmers Market? No?
No. Yes, yes.
Okay. So Forsyth Farmers Market, conveniently located at Forsyth Park on Saturday mornings from 9 to 1. They double SNAP benefits, meaning you go into the information kiosk, you take your SNAP card with you, and then you say that you would like $20 worth of your SNAP. You're going to get 40, and you're going to get 2 different types of tokens. One token is going to be for your meats and your cheeses, your breads, and then that secondary set of tokens are going to be for your fruits and vegetables. So it comes out to basically being free. There's 2 other markets that participate in it. It's a program called Fresh for Less. And the Waterville Station Farmers Market in Brooklyn, if you happen to be in Effingham, I know that I shared this with a lot of our Effingham connections and a lot of our Effingham partners. So if you're in Effingham, in what was previously known as the Brooklyn Farmers Market is the Waterville Station Farmers Market. They also double SNAP benefits. And at one point, the Statesboro Farmers Market also doubled SNAP benefits. Utilize this information so that you can make the most out of your SNAP benefits, especially if you have kids. The more that we expose our children to fruits and vegetables, the more likely they are to make better, healthier choices. We recognize that food is expensive. So if you're able to get those free fruits and vegetables, take advantage of it. You can also get live plants from some of the vendors during certain times of the season. You can also get that from the second set of tokens. There is no reason for you not to take advantage of this right now, because there are upcoming changes that are going to reduce access to state benefits, including Medicaid and SNAP. How many of us are following legislation in the state of Georgia? Okay. So the state of Georgia is already going to be cutting benefits. That means that individuals receiving Medicaid and SNAP are going to see a large reduction, either through a reduction of the allotted amount of money on SNAP or through their renewal process where you may no longer be eligible. They're also taking into consideration if you have teenage kids and they may be working a part-time. That is also going to affect if you're found eligible or not. There are some requirements, whether you're looking for work, whether you're actively looking for work or volunteering, that if you are not doing those things, you may also experience a reduction in benefits. It is so important for us to prepare for what's coming. And one of the things that you can do is to contact your legislators. Let them know how important access to Medicaid is for you and how it's important to your children. And the same thing for SNAP benefits. How many of us have children receiving Medicaid benefits?
Me.
I do. Me.
Okay. We have to recognize that legislation affects all of us. And as we continue to experience the legislating shifts, we're going to see a decrease in services. Earlier in the year, there were over $800 billion worth of reductions for Medicaid and state benefits. And we're just starting to see how that comes into play with nonprofit organizations, with grants that support other organizations like local farmers markets, with food pantries. A lot more people are having to rely on other sources to be able to have access to food. And it's important that we prepare now. So if that looks like taking a gardening course so that you're able to grow some fruits and vegetables, now is the time to do it. If that also means taking advantage of the mentorship program through Jennifer's organization, now is the time to do it. Making sure that you go and get some kind of trade training so that in the event that you're impacted, you have something to fall back on. Because these are things that are happening. They started happening earlier in the year, and they're only going to continue. We're only going to continue seeing shifts. Does anyone have any questions about any of this?
I need my charger.
No, but I wanted to also say that there's 912 food trucks around different areas of Savannah that you can go to get groceries to with your SNAP.
Right. So the 912 food truck is another program that is offered by the Forsyth Farmers Market. And it's a great place to take advantage of it because organizations like Forsyth and like Grow and several other organizations, we recognize something called food insecurity and then food deserts, meaning that there's certain areas where access to fresh, nutrient-dense food is not accessible. Most people may only have a Dollar General. So taking advantage of these programs is super important.
And just
While we have them.
right. And just so you know, we do have farmers market inside, like a partner inside of the front porch now. I have not pulled anything from there, but I know Andrea has pulled some fresh produce from there for moms who are picking up food or household items. So just mention that to us if you do pick up items, like you're approved and you come there to pick up items. Just ask us about farmers market. It's really based on what's available, I believe. So just ask us about that whenever you come.
Also, I wanted to mention that if you aren't able to get to any of those, that the farmers market now has a house at where John Wolfe Florist used to be on Waters Avenue. And I'm not for sure the days and times, but you can find that on their website, I'm sure. But they do have that location as well.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I
Awesome. Thank you.
love that. So we've come to the end of the presentation, and now is a great time for you to ask any questions that you may have. We are a data-driven organization, meaning that everything that we do is individualized and based on the efficacy of our programs. So if it's okay, I am going to ask that you fill in a survey. It's really quick, and it just talks about if you found this presentation helpful, what you learned about it, or what else you would like to learn in the future. Jennifer,
So, are you able to send that to us? Because I'm not going to make them do two if you
yeah,
have
I
a
can.
survey. Okay, yeah. If you can forward the surveys to us, then we'll just do your survey versus me putting two survey links in the chat.
Yeah, let me quit sharing my screen. Okay.
While you're doing that, I have two questions. You said you know where we can do a gardening class at?
There's several around the area. We do have partnerships with Healthy Savannah, and they keep track of where the local gardens are. So we are working on that. Really quickly though, so my survey is 100% anonymous. So
Okay.
there's no, you wouldn't be able to track names.
All right, so I probably am still gonna have to do ours. Because we have to use ours for attendance purposes. I just dropped ours. If y'all could please do both, because we have to have ours for attendance purposes and for future surveys. But if you can please do both, those links are in the chat.
Yes, and ours are because we are one of the program recipients for SNAP Ed. The SNAP Ed, which is what you just took, learning about SNAP benefits, how to increase that, and how to mitigate that with your health. That program is being sunset as of September 30th. So SNAP Ed is one of the programs that is no longer going to be active or available, which is one of the effects of the current legislation.
That other program or other thing you talked about, is that something you can give Jennifer the information on, or your email, so we can email that about that?
Sure.
You
So
said you had another class? Okay.
the bilingual literacy class?
That as well, but you said that you had, if we were interested in some other follow-up class to this one. I thought you said
Oh,
something
the
about
cram
that.
class. The cram class. Jennifer and I can get together and see if that's an option. And then once we do that, then she can send out a link if it's something that.
And the moms, if you're on here and you're in the mentorship program, we've already done that. Moms who aren't in that program, you haven't. The CRIM is the Community Resiliency Model Training. So you have already done that if you're in the mentorship program. If you're interested in that and you're not in the mentorship program, then just email me and let me know. And I don't know, I'm wondering if I don't know if we've ever done that one for the big support group. I know we always do it with mentorship, but I don't know if we ever done it with the big group. If we don't have a September topic, that might be a good one because I love crim training.
I'm a big fan of it.
All right, and then India says the gardening class, there are gardening classes at Park on Pennsylvania Ave. So maybe look those up too. I'm not familiar with those, so I can't tell you what time those classes are. If you're interested in getting a mentor, I will also drop the link. Please do the surveys first, the two surveys that we have. But I'll also I put the link in earlier for another mom, but I'll drop it again for the mentorship program. That will be 2026 because our cohort now does not graduate until November. So if you're done with the two surveys, the mentorship application is at the bottom. Does anybody have any other questions for Rosie? Oh yeah, a gardening class for the mommy meetup. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You'd be so kind and email me the surveys. I'm at work right now, so I won't be able to do any of those till I get home.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
no problem.
And you can find us under Grow Initiative Georgia, and that's GA on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, any other questions before we wrap up? I
Yes, I was gonna ask.
okay, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
Uh,
ahead. Go ahead.
is the force, excuse me, is the Foresight Market, is that every Saturday or?
From the last I heard, yes, they
Yeah,
were.
usually they're out there every Saturday. Because we
Okay.
have some friends out there too. Belinda from Unforgettable Bakery, she sells breads and different things out there. Um, all right, Magda, I just sent that to you. I'm gonna also I just sent the moms who wanted connection. I just sent y'all an email with everybody's information, and I'm gonna look one more time. Please do the survey because I know we had some people who dropped off. Like I did attendance earlier, and I know everybody probably was not on here. And I think I caught most people who were on here for the majority. Please don't fill out these surveys if you were not a part of this, a part of this presentation.
Can
Uh,
you tell me what the name of this class is again?
this one is, you can just put health and nutrition
Okay.
with grow. Because it's kind of a long title. So you could just put health and nutrition. And if
Yeah.
you put August 2025, we'll know which one you're talking about. But please, if you did not receive the information today, do not fill out that survey. You need to be at least attending at minimum 30 minutes of this session to receive credit for it. Because it's really good information. Again, it's being recorded. If you came in late, and you watch the recording, which we will put on, it'll probably be on by next week. I'll try to do it this weekend. We'll probably put it on our page. If you watch this recording, like if you're on here now and you're like, oh, I got here really late, I really didn't hear anything. If you watch the recording and let me know something you learned in this recording, then we'll still give you credit for the diaper bank and the pantry if you need support. But if you do not receive this information, like it's only a discredit for you because this is good information. We appreciate Rosie. Her and her organization are accessible to you if you need more help um, moving forward in the area of health and nutrition or public benefits. Before we close, I'm sorry, Michelle. We're about to end this. I know you just got in here. Um,
Really quickly, Jennifer,
Hey, Jennifer.
in recognizing that a lot of individuals are losing healthcare access, Grow Initiative Georgia has started a partnering program with two providers so that they're able, if you are uninsured or underinsured, we do have access to two medical providers that are able to see our participants, so individuals that we provide case management to, for a decreased cost. So that if you don't have to go to urgent care for $150. So just kind of keeping that in mind. At Grow, we really believe in community engagement, access, and education. If you have students that receive special services and you need parent training, then that's also something that we can do.
all right. And I do want to make sure the moms are paying attention to the chat. Raven is trying to connect with Jasmine. So make sure, hopefully you saw that, Jasmine. If you have a mom on this call that you would like to connect to, I also email connections. I hope I grabbed everybody, but if not, check the chat before you get off because there may be a mom who directly wants to connect with you because of the age of your children. And I don't think we have any other questions. I don't see anything else in the chat.
I have a
Oh,
question about the mentorship program. Do you have to be a resident of Georgia to participate or apply?
you do. And I did put that in the chat too. Unfortunately, you do have to be a resident of Georgia because we get funding from the city of Savannah, Chatham County, and United Way. So that's the only program that's more restrictive in terms of who we can serve, unfortunately. With the pantry and the diaper bank, if you can get to us, we will help you because we have moms that come from everywhere. So if you can get to us with the pantry and the diaper bank, we'll help you. But if you are trying to be in the mentorship program, unfortunately, as of right now, that requires you to be in the city of Savannah. We may in the future have some type of all virtual, but a lot of that connection is really good when it's in person. And it's just a lot of weeks of information. But Yeah, maybe in the future there'll be an option for moms who don't live in Savannah, Georgia, but as of right now, yes, you have to live in the city of Savannah. Okay,
Hey,
if
Jennifer.
you did text me anything, I may have, like if it's to my work phone, it's better to email me if you can, because that work phone I don't necessarily look at on the weekends anymore. So please, if you do have important questions, send me an email. My email should be the email you received a reminder about, but I'll put it in here again. It's just Jennifer at shelterfromtherain.com. If you have important questions or need information. Did somebody say something? Okay, I didn't miss
I
anybody.
did. It's Heather.
Oh, hey, Heather. Oh, good, you made it,
I
Heather.
didn't know
Are
if
you
you
the
could
phone
hear
number
me
that's
this
on
whole
here?
time.
Oh, I didn't know that was you. I'm glad you said that. Okay, Heather Brown.
Yeah, I was gonna say from the call I can't see the chat, so I don't have the survey.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I will email you back with let me grab her survey too.
Okay.
Is there anybody else who's calling in and not able to see the chat? I'm gonna scroll. Okay, I'm gonna grab Rosie's and then I'll grab. All right. And I don't think there's anybody else. I'm glad you said that because I was like, who is that phone number? I'm gonna send this attendance to Andrea and we'll double check it against the surveys. Anybody else having any issues? Okay, I see a lot of surveys coming in, so thank you. I'm going to stay on just a little bit longer for people who need surveys, but if anybody has any questions for Rosie, we'll be on for a few more minutes. Otherwise, if you need to go, you can go. Thank you for attending. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. If anybody's watching this recording and you need assistance, you can email Jennifer at shelterfromtherain.com and then I can connect you to Rosie. If you cannot see the chat or if you need any additional information, we can help you through Jennifer at shelterfromtherain.com. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next support group. And I'll end this recording now.